Imagine you're invited to a dinner party. You didn't cook the food, you didn't own the house, you didn't even bring the wine. You just unlocked the door. For years, everyone has called you a genius host. They pay you millions just to open that door. But then, one day, the owner of the house shows up, the chef shows up, and they look at you, standing there with your silly little smile, and they whisper 3 words that end your entire existence. Get out. This isn't a hypothetical. This is the exact moment Netflix looked into the abyss. They were facing a customized billion-dollar execution, and their survival strategy? It wasn't to fight back. It wasn't to apologize. It was to commit financial suicide. Today, we're looking at the reverse thinking that turned a glorious delivery service into the ruler of Hollywood, and why your safety net is actually a noose. Let's go back to the good old days. The year is 2010. I love 2010. My neighbor, let's call him Basic Jib, loves Netflix. Why? Because Netflix was the ultimate smart, lazy person business. Here was the plan, and it was beautiful in its innocence. Hollywood makes expensive movies, risky, scary. Netflix pays a tiny fee to rent them, safe, easy. We watch them, profit. It was the golden era of licensing. Why build a factory when you can just buy the product? It's like throwing a party using your parents' credit card. You get all the glory, and they take all the debt. Netflix was the aggregator. Definition on screen, a platform that gathers content but doesn't create it. They didn't need to worry about scripts, or actors having meltdowns, or directors demanding more explosions. They just needed a website. It was the perfect heist. And like all perfect plans, it relied on one tiny fragile assumption that was about to shatter like a vase in a bullfight. You see, in the narrative of life, there is always a dragon. In this story, the dragon was not a mythical beast. It was a mouse, a Mickey Mouse. The media giants, Disney, Fox, NBC, were asleep at the wheel. They thought Netflix was just a cute little puppy eating their scraps. Aw, look, the puppy is selling our old reruns of Friends for pennies. How adorable. But then, the puppy got big, like Clifford the Big Red Dog big. Netflix wasn't just extra money anymore. It was becoming the destination. People stopped watching cable, they stopped going to the movies, they just Netflix and chilled. Here is where the normal thinking traps you. If you are Netflix, you think, I need to license more content. I need to pay the dragon more gold. Because if you stop, the screen goes black. If you stop, the subscriber cancels. If the subscriber cancels, the stock goes to 0, and I have to go back to living with my grandma. But the dragons woke up, and they realized, wait a minute, why are we selling our bullets to the guy who's shooting at us? The price of licensing didn't just go up, it went vertical. Starz, the TV network, told Netflix, oh, you want our movies? That will be $300 million, please. It was extortion, it was a hostage situation. And this brings us to the false peak, the moment where you think you are successful, but you are actually trapped. Normal logic says, negotiate, beg, plead, pay the ransom. Please, Mr. Disney, let me keep Iron Man. I'll wash your car. I'll walk your dog. But this is a trap. If Netflix paid, their margins would die. If they didn't pay, their library would die. It was a lose-lose scenario wrapped in a tragedy sandwich. So Reed Hastings, the CEO of Netflix, looked at the normal way, depending on others, and decided to do something that looked to the outside world completely insane. He decided to become his own enemy. Enter reverse thinking. Normal thinking. We are a tech company. We deliver movies. We don't make them. Reverse thinking. Nobody cares about the delivery truck. They care about the pizza. We must become the chef. But wait, it's not that simple. You don't just make a movie. Do you know how hard it is to make a hit TV show? It's harder than teaching a cat to do calculus. Netflix didn't just start filming random things. They used their secret weapon, data. Layer 1 of the reverse. They looked at what you watched. They knew you liked director David Fincher. They knew you liked Kevin Spacey, back before, well, you know. They knew you liked the British political drama House of Cards. So instead of making a pilot, a test episode like a scared little studio, Netflix slammed $100 million on the table for 2 full seasons. HBO laughed. You fools, you didn't even test it. It was reckless, it was arrogant. It was the financial equivalent of jumping out of a plane and knitting a parachute on the way down. But they weren't guessing. They knew you. They knew your guilty pleasures better than you know yourself. And then, the release. Normal TV. Here is 1 episode a week. Please come back. Netflix reverse. Here is the whole season. Go gorge yourself like a glutton. Destroy your sleep schedule. Binge it all. They didn't just change the content, they changed the behavior of the human species. The result? House of Cards was a massive hit. But it wasn't just a hit show, it was a declaration of independence. Today, Netflix isn't a platform, it's a studio. It wins Oscars, it makes Stranger Things, Squid Game, The Crown. If they had stuck to normal thinking, trying to license more content to grow, they would be dead today. Disney Plus would have crushed them like a bug on a windshield. By doing the reverse, by spending billions to own the asset, they became the king. So, here's the question for you, sitting there scrolling through life. Are you the creator, or are you just the courier? Are you building your own skills, your own brand, your own originals? Or are you just renting a job, renting a reputation, and waiting for the day the owner decides to take the keys back? Because remember, it's fun to drive the getaway car until the bank robbers decide you know too much.